Saw the light fading from his eyes, and on the wind I heard him sigh. As the sun covers my fallen brother, I will say this last goodbye. Oh, it's anchors away, it's anchors away.
I'm on, and again, I could, the last time I checked, 82% of injuries that veterans got in Vietnam aren't visible with the naked eye. I'm on 13 different pills. That's not counting counseling. At VA standards, I am 100% disabled.
Wow.
Because, and again, you look and I was explaining it, and there must have been a test because I had to walk up the 4 flights of stairs because the elevator was broke. And I was explaining to the gentleman, I've got 30% of my kidneys, I've got diabetes, I've got coronary artery disease, I have high blood pressure, diabetic.
Psychologically, I'm medicated all the time. I still have nightmares. I still have certain sounds will upset me.
Yes, it was. It was tough. I had PTSD. I had it, and I've been getting help. I tried to get help in 1969, and they told me there's nothing you can do. When I came back, the state of Massachusetts was giving bonuses for the Vietnam veterans. Mm-hmm. We got $300, and I went down to City Hall, and they had the VA was down there too, and I asked for some help, but they said we went over to the window at City Hall, and we had a park there, and they had people laying down on a bench, and they had a piece of paper, a newspaper, to keep them warm, and they says we can help them. I said, well, for the longest time I didn't get no help, but I did get help eventually, and without the VA I wouldn't be here today. The VA helped me big time, and I belong to a veterans group with combat veterans, the Vet Center in Worcester, and I've been going for many, many years now. And that helps.
Well, I got a lot of problems. I got diabetes, Agent Orange got us, because we used to go into these joints where they use tons of Agent Orange, and we'd stay there for months, sleeping in it, eating in it, smoking, of course, everybody smoked, so you're inhaling that stuff, and I got diabetes, psoriatic arthritis, I got cyst on my kidneys, I just had surgery on my intestines, a lot of good stuff, it's a lot of good stuff, but what can you, that's part of the game. Well, I got a lot of problems. I got diabetes, Agent Orange got us, because we used to go into these joints where they use tons of Agent Orange, and we'd stay there for months, sleeping in it, eating in it, smoking, of course, everybody smoked, so you're inhaling that stuff, and I got diabetes, psoriatic arthritis, I got cyst on my kidneys, I just had surgery on my intestines, a lot of good stuff, it's a lot of good stuff, but what can you, that's part of the game.
I
after the war, a lot of Vietnam veterans went to drugs, but I didn't bother with drugs. I went to alcohol, which wasn't a good thing either, you know, but it kind of took the edge off, you know, because I used to get nightmares every night, and, you know, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night, you know, thinking, you know, I was in a firefight or something. And even now, I'm taking medication for, you know, post-traumatic stress. I don't know what to say about that. I would just say, you know, alcohol took the edge off. That's all, you know, and it got me in a lot of trouble too, because I got married when I was 21, and I used to go out partying with my friends, and my wife gave me an option. After she threw me out the house like the third time, she says, either quit hanging around with your friends, or, you know, if you want to stay married, you got to stay with me. So I kind of stopped drinking, not totally, but I still had a couple, but I wouldn't go out partying, because I used to close the bars all the time, you know. And when you first get married, that's not a good thing, especially, you know, when you're leaving your wife home.
Well, physically, I was pretty good shape, you know. Psychologically, until I got into my counselor, her name was Jean Snow, because I told you, I knew something was up somewhere, you know. And when I went to see her, she had me hyperventilating in 15 minutes. I was literally walking the walls back and forth. She was asking me questions that, and I tell this to the classes too, they were asking me questions that I wanted so much to be asked of me, you know, about this. People call it the war. It wasn't a war, it was a conflict, because it was never declared. Somebody shows me a paper, it was declared, I'll change my mind. But it was, she asked me questions about myself, about my experiences, what I did, physically as well as whatever. And she had, like I said, I was doing this, take my jacket off, I was sweating. But those are things I wanted asked for years, and somebody pulled it out. Somebody pulled it out, she pulled it out of me. And when I see the psychs at the VA now, it's, you know, I'm not afraid to say anything, you know, not at all, you know. Like I said, a lot of it's my own doing, but it's the PTSD thing, which you hear all about. Once you get it, you got it. It ain't gonna disappear like some cold. It's not. It's etched in that human brain that everybody tells us we have. And it's not a good thing, because it can depress you at times, you know. There are still times today that I need to be by myself. I just need to by myself and not listen to anybody. And it happens. The psychological part is they actually, one of my psychs called me Sybil. And after talking to him, it was like, I could be the most lovable person, the most awful person, the most generous person, the most kindest person. And if you've seen each of those, if you've seen the bad side, you'd say this guy's a nut job. But if you saw the side that's generous, loving, the whole thing, completely different person. And the only thing we can't straighten out is, anytime any of that happens, I know I'm doing it. When I get really going, I know I'm doing it. And that's why sorry's in my vocabulary more than any other word. It's just something that's there, and it goes all the way back.